Hello and welcome to my preview of the third week from the English Premier League. Before we kick things off, I'd just like to know that I'm not previewing the Chelsea vs Aston Villa game, as that game was played last week and I can't preview a game that's already played. I will review it, but that game will be missing out from this video. So let's kick things off with technically the second game, but the first game for this video, which is Manchester City versus Hull. I predict that Manchester City will win 3-0. It's at home. Manchester City lost last week, which was a shocking loss at the hands of Cardiff, and I think they'll be just way too strong for Hull City, who won't have the quality anywhere on the park compared to Manchester City. And since City lost last week, I think they want a really resounding performance at home in the Etihad, so I think Manchester City will win 3-0. The next game will be Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. I predict it'll be a 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace, as I've said many times, Ian Holloway's got that team with great spirit, great morale, and great fighting qualities. And Sunderland have been a bit unlucky, especially in their first game at home. However, I think Paolo Di Canio's side will be able to scrape in a point here, and that'll ensure that both teams come away with a point each. The next game is arguably one of the biggest games this week. It's at Anfield, Liverpool versus Manchester United. Liverpool are one of the most informed teams right now in the Premier League, and they have the informed striker in the Premier League right now, Daniel Sturridge. And I just feel that since he's firing on all cylinders, and they've got the midfield of Gerrard, Lucas, with Coutinho they're creating, I think that they can be able to withstand the Man United pressure and dominance, and both teams will draw it out, and it'll be 2-2. The reason I say that it'll be a draw for United is I don't think that Moyes has got that team really firing on all cylinders yet. I still think they need a couple more signings. Definitely Fellaini and Baines if Everton are willing to sell, but I just don't think they have the right chemistry with the team right now, and that's why playing Liverpool at home will result in a draw for either team. The following game will be at the Hawthorns, and it'll be West Albion Bromwich versus Swansea. I predict that game will be finish West Albion 2, Swansea 1, therefore meaning in 3 games Swansea haven't won any. I don't think that's any call for concern yet. Swansea have a very strong team all over the park. Their defence is really strong. Their midfield oozes quality, and up front they've got the ever-present Michu and Wilfred Boney. So I don't think they should worry yet. I think Laudrup knows what he's doing. He's a very good manager. I just think that West Albion Bromwich at home have the quality and have what it takes to be able to beat Swansea at this present time. The next game will be in Wales, featuring Cardiff and Everton. Since Cardiff surprisingly beat Manchester City, this may come as a shock, but I'm predicting that Cardiff will lose 2-1 and Everton win, just for the simple fact that Everton, Roberto Martinez, I don't think has got the full capabilities out of his squad. He's shown that, yes, he has the intention of playing Ross Barkley, and isn't willing to sell Fellaini and Baines yet, so that's, two of their best players, hopefully for their sake, staying at Everton, and I think that they'll just be too strong. They'll create through Morales and Pina, and they've got a good defence, Distan and Jagielka, so I just think they can go to Cardiff and get the win. The next game will be at Carrow Road, featuring Norwich and Southampton. Southampton they're a really informed team as well, getting a couple of late wins and securing a draw last week, which shows that that team's got a lot of fight, a lot of resilience. And I think even though they're playing away, I reckon they'll be able to scramble some 90th minute type goal, which will be a cause for concern for Norwich, because I'm not 100% convinced on them just yet. I think they're a brilliant team, and I really like the players that they have going forward in Snodgrass and Houlihan, and I think though for Norwich they're really quality players, but against Southampton at this time I don't think they can win. The third last game will be at St James's Park, featuring Newcastle and Fulham. Newcastle have had a very shaky start to their pre-season in the transfer window, and as well in their first couple of games. However, I think Alan Pardew will finally be able to get a win for his team at home, and I think it'll be quite a comfortable win, although with Newcastle they haven't looked very comfortable in their former two games. And Fulham, I don't think will be able to do very much. I think they rely a lot on Dimitar Berbatov. He's everything that they need going forward, and in terms of creating and scoring goals. And I think any team that plays Fulham, really, once they shut Berbatov down and maybe keep Tarat quiet, Fulham don't offer that much. I mean, in the middle of Park and Sidwell, they're okay, but they're not really going to protect the back four as much, and not going to pick out those passes for the front four players. So I think Newcastle will get the win 2-0. The second last game is West Ham versus Stoke. I think it'll finish West Ham 3, Stoke City 1. At this current time, Sam Allardyce has got his players playing well. Whenever he decides to play Andy Carroll in a 4-3-3, he can play him as a centre forward, and on either flank you've got Downing and Jarvis, pacey, got a couple of tricks, and can whip him some good crosses. You've got Nolan, who manages to find the back of the net in the most crazy circumstances, or he can score a goal out of nothing, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that kind of quality Stoke cannot match. I think Stoke are still very one-dimensional, even though Mark Hughes has said he wants to change the type of play in which they play. But I think West Ham will just be too strong and will get the win at home. Now, the last game is arguably the biggest game. Obviously, I'm going to have a little bias here, but it's the North London derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham. First game for Arsenal, diabolical. Complete and utter disgrace performance. However, the two legs against Fenerbahce, very strong. And the last week's performance against Fulham was really just a quality performance all around the pitch. In saying that, Arsenal have sustained a couple more injuries and making the squad look even lighter. And Tottenham, as of when I'm recording this video right now, looks like they're going to sell Bale. They've signed Lamella. They're going to get Eriksen, and they're going to get another centre-half. So they've really spent their money and gone great guns and great lengths to replace Gareth Bale. Do I think it's enough? No, not very much at all. What I'm trying to say is, I think Arsenal are in a great run of form right now, and I think that can just carry them over the line. However, they need to strengthen. They need a new spine of the team to compete. But this game will go a long way into determining who's going to finish fourth. And with that, this may be biased, but this is what I think. I think Arsenal will win 2-1. It'll be a very close game. Both teams will try and squeeze each other up the pitch like they've done on numerous times before, and there'll be a game of many chances. The team who takes those chances and converts them will win the game. And just right now, in the third week, I think Arsenal are the informed team, and Tottenham haven't looked convincing in their past two games. They've just done enough to get the 3 points, and I think AVB's maybe a bit worried. However, Arsenal, I think, will win 2-1. They need to go out and buy players, and then we can definitely manage to get fourth and push higher. And for Tottenham, I think, again, this may be a year where they finish fifth, even though they've replaced Gareth Bale with quality players. I still think that the fifth place curse will hang over their heads for another season. So that's it. That's the third week. My predictions all wrapped up. They'll be on the screen for you guys right now. My review will be later in less than a week's time, and in that game I promise I will review the Chelsea-Aston Villa game. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the games this weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.